It was sad to hear, but the Olympic gold medalist announced to the WWE Universe that he is finally hanging up his wrestling boots for good. With his farewell match taking place on the grandest stage of them all, it was only fitting he wrestles somebody who has shared his journey on the road to becoming one of the most decorated and well-respected wrestlers in the business today. The question was set on who his opponent could be, and whilst Triple H could have been a suited opponent, he was already tied up in a storyline with Batista, and a match between the two was already announced. So who else was there? Popular names such as John Cena and The Undertaker were all considered by fans on social media, as well as those who are close to Angle like his ex-teammate Shelton Benjamin, or giving the rub to a young superstar like Chad Gable. But, to say the least, fans were outraged when it was revealed on this week's edition of Monday Night Raw that WWE decided to have his most recent nemesis Baron Corbin to be his last ever opponent. Immediately, once his opponent was revealed, boos echoed throughout the Allstate Arena in Chicago and followed with the "We Want Cena" chant. Yep, this is also the same arena where 14-odd thousand fans booed Cena into an oblivion when he faced CM Punk for the WWE Championship. How times have changed. Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle have been storyline enemies ever since Corbin was vying for his position as Raw's general manager. We assumed WWE had put an end to this feud after Corbin was forced to relinquish his power after being defeated by Braun Strowman at the TLC pay-per-view. Plus, the payoff to the storyline had already happened, with Angle defeating him on Raw the next night. Whilst this was an excellent way to get nuclear heat on Baron Corbin, which worked tremendously by the way, WWE wasn't expecting such a huge negative reaction from fans. Former WWE Champion Edge spoke about the controversial decision on the Edge and Christian podcast show and defended the decision by saying, "You know, if we're talking about storyline, yes it does make sense. I do however think that the name I mentioned last week makes more sense in terms of John Cena. Maybe he's in Zimbabwe or China or wherever shooting a movie with Jackie Chan. In terms of if you look at it and say, right, Cena came out in Chicago to take Kurt Angle's challenge, I don't know, 18 years ago or whatever it was. For Kurt to be able to announce his WrestleMania opponent in the same building it happened, it just seemed like such serendipity, so there's gotta be a reason why that didn't happen. You know, I'm tired of people always knocking Corbin, man. He's a talented dude. I know in the internet realm that it's not a popular opinion, but he's a big man who can move and I like him. So it's great for him to be put in that slot, and no matter where they go with the finish, it's a cool place for him to be. However, after the announcement, fans were quick to speculate that WWE was just using Corbin simply for heat, and would eventually give the fans what they wanted and replace him with a fan favourite. Wrestling journalist Justin LaBar tweeted after the show, "The match isn't going to happen. They will remove Corbin on the basis of fans are displeased, and do just what they did when they removed Corbin from the GM role. They will reward everyone with the big match." He then went on to say, "Baron Corbin vs Kurt Angle isn't going to be Angle's Mania retirement match. Saying Corbin vs Angle is to get people to appreciate the actual match they will get. They will remove Corbin just like they did him as GM." LaBar could in part be right, as WWE could have possibly caved into the fans' negative reaction and possibly changed the match. As with all rumours, you'll have to take it with the proverbial pinch of salt, but Wrestling Insider WrestleVotes recently tweeted, "From a source, Angle vs Corbin is being reconsidered. WWE did not expect this type of negative reaction and thus, they don't want such a negative feel to Kurt's final contest." Slice Wrestling also reported, Kurt Angle's WrestleMania 35 match opponent Baron Corbin may end up getting switched, as WWE could do a bait and switch with a more significant wrestling name to retire Kurt Angle, such as John Cena. Reports had surfaced by PW Insider that there were going to be no swerves involved, and WWE 100% was going to have Angle face off against the former Lone Wolf at the MetLife Stadium come April 7th. It's interesting to note that they also mentioned Angle wanted a more high-profile opponent, but WWE went against his opinion. Additionally, the tweet that Angle's wife sent out indicating a dismay of Corbin being his opponent was not planned, hence why she quickly deleted the tweet. Rumours persist though that the WWE started to reconsider the plans as soon as they heard the negative reaction, that's why it was buried by Michael Cole on commentary. There is the high possibility now that Corbin will be replaced, and while Cena is a major favourite to replace him and scheduled to wrestle at the Show of Shows, Dave Meltzer confirmed that Cena, as of right now, doesn't have an opponent. Original plans were to have him in a feud with Lars Sullivan leading up to Mania, but this was nixed after Sullivan went AWOL during a live episode of Raw. It's safe to say replacing Corbin would be the best choice of action right now. Otherwise, rather than the match being known as Angle's last time in the ring as an in-ring competitor, it will be more recognised as one of the worst decisions WWE has made in WrestleMania history, and certainly not a fitting end to the Olympic hero's illustrious career. But what do you guys think? Will WWE change the match? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.